Invitation sent. Oh, now he's inviting me. Stop singing. This is not Jared's singing hour. Alright, here we go, Deadfinger. Coming in hot. There he is. Whoa, blast from the past.
What's up, dude?
Hey.
Hey.
Alright, I'm joining.
What are you joining for?
Sabotage! We're live, Chaz.
Oh yeah.
Chaz, we're live.
Chaz, we're broadcasting. We're on air. Don't say that. Don't say anything awkward.
Just follow the teleprompter.
Put on your pants.
Awkward, Jared. What's up, dude? There's so much I'm so excited. There's so much to talk about, and it's all so good.
Oh wow, I already found a game. Great.
It's all so good. Yeah. So Battlefront 2 was showcased. Sorry, I looking at my phone really quick because I was all over the forums today, and it was cray. Dude, people are you guys are gonna blow your tops, man. People are so mad about cross-era hero play. Like, they're so mad about it. Dude, they're freaking out. Like, people are like legit like, this is dumb. Like, if we make enough noise, like like they're talking about
take
like,
it out of the game that's been completed for 6 months.
Yeah, right. They're like, maybe they'll patch it through.
Oh my god!
Like,
sign this.org petition.
They're so mad right now. They're
Boycott
mad.
Hashtag save the Clone Wars and they'll listen.
Yeah, right. I don't know, man. It's really kind of interesting to see like the different arguments people have for why they don't want it.
Dumb as hell.
I know we're gonna try to like knock down most of those here. I mean, I'll try to play devil's advocate as much as I can. But before we get into any of that and we start talking about the news, let's cover the juicy stuff first. First off. If we have any people who are new, because we've been dropping lines all over the place, so if anybody's new and just jumping in, welcome. We appreciate you coming in to listen in for the voice time. I am Chaz, your sort of moderator. I guess I'm not really the moderator. I kind of have
mediator.
Questions, and these guys like the mediator. Yeah, keep these guys from tearing each other's heads off. And then I'm joined by Adam. Who is my gracious co-host, and then there's Jared as well. So now, like, that way you can recognize our voices, because somebody was like said to me, they're like, "Oh, we don't know who's who," and I was like,
"Well,
oh,
then be a viewer more than once, you dingus."
Wow.
No, one of us in real life.
Take it easy.
Oh God. Yeah. So yeah, every week we get together, we play Battlefront, and then we talk Star Wars. Really, we've been talking a lot about Star Wars Battlefront because
it's the GOAT
for it. We'll be talking about Last Jedi a little bit, but not this week. All Battlefront stuff this week. So if you have anything you want to talk about Last Jedi, jump in with us next week, and we will talk about that, or shoot us some comments over the week, and we will respond to you. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook and all that good stuff. Instagram. You can find us there, and yeah, drop a line, ask us a question, and we'll answer it there. We're pretty active, so yeah, you can. But we always practice safe social media. We always practice.
Don't be a fool.
Oh, brother. So
I don't have much constructive to contribute to this week's conversation, so
yes,
all I'm here for is the blue jokes.
Oh God, he's gonna be constructive. We're gonna rein Adam in.
Good luck.
So let me hop over to EA Star Wars just real fast, and look at. I wanted to, because I want to really quick go through what we saw at Gamescom. For those of you who didn't see it, which I know you guys did because you're fans of Star Wars, so I know you did. But if you are one of those people who are like, oh man, I don't get to really check out Star Wars stuff throughout the week, and Talking Sith is my one day to listen in and figure out what's up.
Then I'm sorry.
We will
if we're your source for
yes,
your only source for Star Wars, then we apologize.
And we're so sorry, but we'll try our best.
Oh, cool. Chewie has 100
Yeah,
health.
so Gamescom was over the week, and it was pretty cool. There was a lot of cool stuff that came out of that. One of the coolest things, though, that we're going to talk about was Star Wars. We got to see Starfighter Assault Mode, which was basically awesome and epic space battles. And there was, brace yourself, guys, there was cross-hero play, cross-era hero play in space. I'm sorry, I know it's like the unmentionable right now, but it's happening. So we got to see the black one, that's Poe Dameron's ship. We got to see
the T-70 stealth X-wing snub fighter.
Yep. We got to see that. We got to see. We got to see
with
the
BB-8,
slave one,
which Jared pointed out to me, and I didn't know. You can hear BB-8 whispering as he's flying around.
BB-8 heals you.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
That's the coolest part.
It's like R2.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's cooler.
So now they've announced classes. Like now we like officially know like there are classes for the starfighter. So there's like the fighter class, the bomber. We did call it. So there's the fighter class, the bomber class, and I think there was like a stealth class or something like that.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, infiltrator class, I think.
Yeah, like an infiltrator class.
Oh, no,
and each one of those is like, has its own special abilities and how it works and what kind of damage it can take and all that good stuff. Which one? I mean, I got a bunch of notes on this that I'm ready to talk about, but I want to know first off which one are you guys most excited for?
I've never played a vehicle game with classes, so I'm just excited to try them all out. Because other than like straight vehicle games, I haven't really played a game like this that had vehicle classes. Because Battlefield doesn't. I mean, you can fly different types of vehicles, but it's not like a dogfight that's between a bomber and a assault. So I'm just excited to see what that feels like and how they feel different from each other and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Jared, I know you watched more of it than I did, though.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of like having the moderate class, like being a moderate class. Like they said the X-wing was kind of a little bit of both.
Yeah.
So that's probably what I'm gonna roll with. But I mean, all the ships look awesome. It looked pretty cool to be a TIE bomber too, because they were like, the commentator said like you can launch up to like 5 missiles at one time, and I was like, oh man.
Oh my god, that's
a lot of damage.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, and they were like super tanky too. Like the Y-wing and the TIE bomber could take a lot of damage.
Yeah. I'm excited. I mean, I'm excited to fly Poe's ship. That's really a big one for me. It looked incredible to fly. I mean, I agree. Like, that was kind of my thinking too, Adam. Was that I have never played really. I know there are games out there.
Oh my god, there's a hero pickup and I was a guard and couldn't get it. That's awesome.
I know there are other games out there like World of Tanks and like certain games like that have like classes with certain cards.
That's
and then obviously like
not
racing.
a game.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I apologize. Not a real game. But then there's like obviously racing games. That's like the A class as. Like,
oh yeah, it's totally different though.
Whatever. That's completely different than like actual like fighting the ships against each other. They are customizable. You can customize the star cards so that way they can do different. My fighter might not be the same as your fighter. You might have different buffs or different nerfs on yours to.
Say you don't want healing or something, you could just go for more damage. So.
Exactly.
Cool.
So it's gonna be. Oh my gosh! It's just. I can't wait. It's gonna be beautiful. If you haven't checked out any of the footage yet, check it out. It's on EA's site.
And it's gorgeous too. We were talking about that before we hopped on. The graphics are amazing.
It looks really great. it looks really, really great.
All the movement is very fluid and smooth. It looks perfect. I'm really excited. Now, do we know whether there's going to be playable Starfighter Assault in the beta, or if the beta is going to be straight ground missions, or what?
I
They're gonna have it.
I don't
I mean,
know.
I assume everything that's been playable
like
so far
will
will be playable in the beta, because that's obviously they're playing an alpha build or a beta build, so they've got it may as well.
That's
be,
what
right?
I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is that's what we were gonna hopefully get a chance to do,
God,
both because I'm well. No, I don't remember now for the beta for Battlefront.
There was
for
Fighter
this one
Squadron.
whether was there Fighter Squadron?
Yeah,
okay.
but there's only one
I
map. I think it was Hoth. Remember? You could just fly around in circles and get the hero pickups.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the same thing.
I agree, Greg. I just didn't know if they had actually said anything.
Oh man, yeah. So there's tons of vehicles, like just in the scope of vehicles. Like now, think like basically in this game we're playing right now. If you guys haven't played it, if you're not a if you're not on the side of the Empire, there's no vehicles. There's no. I mean, there's unless you're in this, in the air. There's no like actual things to get into and be and like right around. So like as far as like the difference between Battlefront, what we're playing now, and Battlefront 2 that's coming out, like it's much more massive in scale and like
lots
with
of little
options
chicken
and
walkers and little things
it's
like
gonna
that.
it's gonna be incredible all around. And
there's speeder bikes in this.
Yeah,
but
it's not like. It's kind of like
Speeder
he's
bikes.
saying that ATSTs versus you don't get anything.
Oh right, yeah, just the snow speeder or the cloud cars.
Yeah.
But
and that's about it.
But there's speeder bikes. There's little things like that. It's just it feels like, at least from what we've seen of the second one, there's going to be much more and a lot more consistent pickups.
As far as like just ships that are going to be like in the air, there's the T-65B X-wing, the the A-wing, obviously the RZ-1 A-wing was the A-wing we all know, the Y-wing, the TIE, the Interceptor, the TIE Interceptor, TIE Bomber, the AAT, which is, for those who don't know what the AAT is, that was a prequel era heavy combat unit that we saw like them marching next to in the Naboo. And stuff like that. We saw the droids, the B1. It's like famous for being like behind the B1 battle droids. It's like
right. They had them on Geonosis as well.
Yeah, on Geonosis too. And then there's the AT-RT, which is if you played Star Wars, and we did see them in the Clone Wars the prequel era movies, but I remember it mostly from the first level of Star Wars Battlefront 2 when you played the campaign mode, those like little walkers that were like open that you got into.
That's sick.
That the clone troopers could use. Those were really awesome.
They showed some of the gameplay for that too, and they look pretty nice.
Oh, they look amazing. They're being labeled as like a really good hit and run machine. It's really maneuverable. Stuff like
Glass
that.
Cannon though.
This is alright. So here's the one I'm really excited about: the Vulture droid. I don't know if anybody knows. If you guys don't know what that is, Google a picture of it right now.
Those things are so sick. I remember those in Jedi Power Battles. Man. They were so boring. They were just the worst thing to fight in Jedi Power Battles because they were OP. But those are so cool.
They're like super sleek. I'm assuming that this vehicle is gonna have low health, but make up for that and being maneuverable and having high speed. Then we got the N1 Starfighter. That's a prequel era one as well. That one is it's definitely like a Naboo looking ship as well. You'll see like that one in I believe the Phantom Menace. I remember seeing that one in the V-wing, which I believe that one is the V-wing is a new one. That one is from The Force Awakens, the new era, and it's oh no, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. The V-wing is from the prequel era. I'm sorry, and it's like an atmospheric fighter saying. So there's gonna be, like I said, there's gonna be a lot. There's already that's like tons of ships, and that's just the prequel era, it seems. So just based off like the prequel era and like the old era and what we're gonna be getting with the new era stuff, we already know like vehicles are just gonna be ridiculous. So if you got to see Starfighter Assault mode, If you haven't got to see it, I'm sorry. Check it out. Like it's really sweet. We've been posting pictures of some of the ships that are on there. I'm going to, now that all the pictures are out, I'm gonna go ahead and after this we'll post all the pictures in one little album of all the new ships, so you can go in and check them out and look for yourself. You know, and they're all over the place, all over the internet as well, so you can find them pretty much anywhere now. But yeah, check them out if you haven't seen them. So yeah, really, at this point, we're just waiting on the beta. That's what's happening with Star Wars Battlefront 2. We're still waiting on the beta, but a lot of people, I've been looking, you know, this game, Star Wars Battlefront, amongst people who are playing the game and are really enjoying the game still, you know, it's still relevant and we're still playing it. And so right now, I was, you know, on the forums, and one thing I was seeing for people who were still playing this game was now that the kind of like, you know, final balancing for all the guns have happened, which ones, you know, are being favored, or which ones do people tend to like, you know, the most, and things like that. Yeah. So I figured, real quick before we get into the cross-era stuff and keep talking about Battlefront 2, while we're, you know, running around in Battlefront, and I had it on my mind, we can talk about which each one of us, which one's our favorite weapon. I don't know if we've talked about this before.
I think we mentioned it like a little bit. But
yeah.
My favorite's the EE3 for sure, because it's like the most accurate hip fire, and yeah, it's like ridiculous from long range with Berserker, and that's probably the one you see most people using is the EE3. That's definitely my favorite.
I see a lot of people using the EE3.
Oh, good.
A lot. If you don't know what the EE3 is, it's the rifle that Boba Fett uses.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's pretty sleek looking. Yeah, it's got a burst fire too. I think it's 3-round burst fire or 2.
Yeah, it's a 3-round burst.
Yeah, I think it's like a 3-round burst, and it's pretty accurate, and it's got a decent range on it too.
Yeah, it's like a laser pointer from hip fire, which is real nice.
Yeah, my favorite blaster, it's not really guns, I guess, but my favorite blaster is, it's the, I think it's called the DT or the DL 13, I can't remember, but it's the small, I'll find the name of it next time I happen to pass away. But it's this little, I call it my pew gun, because it's tiny. It's tiny, but it literally makes the noise pew 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 pew. It's like it's
the Greedo gun.
Is that Greedo's gun?
I think so. It's like the tiny little one. I think it was Greedo's gun, and it's just like makes the tiniest little noise. I'm like, oh my god! But it does like a heavy amount of damage in close range. It's not the most effective weapon, but I just love the noise, so I use it all the time. I always thought the noise was super
Just
funny.
Just for the noise.
Just for the noise, I use it like
not the functionality of the noise.
No, the functionality is not the greatest. Like I said, in close range, it's pretty cool because it does like heavy damage. It's the DT-12 is what it's called. The DT-12. Yeah, I really like it. It's funny sounding. But yeah, that's my favorite one.
What about you, Adam?
Oh man, I like the A180 for its functionality because you can switch to a lot of overpowered versions of other guns. Like the rifle version on it is a really good rifle, and the sniper on it is a one-shot if you can get a headshot. So, and then the more kills you get with it, the faster all the attachments cool down. So it's really good in that respect. And plus it has an ion attachment too. So I like that gun. I also like the heavy repeater, which is what I'm using right now. So if you're watching the stream, you're watching the heavy repeater.
Yeah.
That one only hip fires. If you pull the left trigger to aim down sight, you actually have a secondary fire, which is like a little grenade launcher. And it's very broken if you can get a hit. It just doesn't have much splash damage. This gun's pretty good. It just overheats quickly. And when you use the attachment, the way they mitigate how broken it is by making you immediately do an active cooldown. So I like that gun. It's good with Berserker, because Berserker is increased hip fire damage, so it's pretty nasty with Berserker. And the A180 is pretty nasty with Sharpshooter, because that's increased aiming damage. So I don't use a lot of bodyguard. I know a lot of competitively minded players use bodyguard, but I play with generally shooting perks as opposed to health perks or tank
And
perks.
that's going to be a big difference that we see between this game and Star Wars Battlefront 2, where, like you say, there are competitively minded players in this game, but then there'll be actual like top tier competitive Star Wars Battlefront 2 players because of the way the game is shaping up to look. If it is, the way it looks like it's going to be, then it's going to be much more competitive in that sense. So it's going to be awesome to see. But so those are our favorite weapons in Star Wars Battlefront. Let us know which one you like using the most. Which one do you like the least?
I know when it came out, I loved the DL-44. The Han Solo's gun. I had it right off the bat because I had the collector's edition, and it was
super broken.
It shot as fast as you could shoot it, and it hit like a truck. And it like no recoil. It was so good. And then
if you put the cooldown thing on it, the cooldown card on it, with that, it was just like it was literally the game, just no question.
And then
it was super broken. Yeah, now it's not nearly as great as it was.
They had to though. It's way too broken.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Here we go. This is me. Oh, the gobble's hilarious. The gobble's great. If you want to see some gobble snipes, check out our Instagram and our Facebook page, because we're a fan of gobble snipes. So, all right, here it goes. This is me just reading off, just in general, just from the general discussion, just topics that are popping up right now. Why are we getting cross-era heroes?
Yay! Our favorite topic.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be pretty sick. All right, so where can we reach the devs in the most effective way of making them forget this cross-era stuff?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is it's interesting. It's interesting.
It's so funny because when this game came out, everybody was crying about, among other things, the lack of cross-era play.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. They were. So I won't get into any more. There's a lot more like that in the recent comments. But in one thread particular, which simply begged the question, would you prefer heroes locked to their eras? A lot of people said yes, definitely should. Yes, definitely. Yes, but not during Halo versus villains, obviously. Of course, yes. It was just ridiculous. Everyone, like, so many people think they do. And then here we go, where we get like some real people. I don't really care. People will whine either way.
There it is.
Exactly.
There it is. That's the truth right there. Either if they said to us, no cross-era play at all, we would have just as many people on the Star Wars Battlefront. This is the first point I want to make.
Without cross-era play.
Exactly.
Did they not play the original?
Exactly. You'd be really upset because you'd be so like, it's just the internet is hate. That's just what it is, man. So it's unfortunate, but it's just the way it is. But okay, so our top reasons for why we want cross-era play. Adam, you go first. Why? First, like, I mean, if you can even entertain, if you
like, I don't get this game to play a realistic. First of all, it's Star Wars, so you can throw the realism argument out the window. We're playing a game in space, so that doesn't matter. Second of all, it's a sandbox game. Like, you should be able to do what you want, how you want, when you want, with who you want. So, I mean, it's a video game. Let me do what I want. If you don't want to do what I want to do, then do something different. That's what's so cool about Battlefront originally, that this game kind of got away from, is you kind of all got pigeonholed into one or two things. Whereas the original Battlefront, you could do whatever you wanted, and you might have a friend that didn't want to play that way, and you would never see him online. So, this game had severely limited options, which is what everyone hated about it, and now we want to limit our options even more. It just doesn't make any sense. Honestly, I don't get it. And I'm a Star Wars fan, so I get the whole, like, stick to canon and all that, but then play the campaign or don't play the modes that you don't like. I don't understand why you would try and ruin someone else's fun.
Definitely. And for people, like, who once again are just joining, like, the stream, or like who haven't ever listened before, we are massive Star Wars fans just in general, not just of obviously not just of the because when I was on the forums earlier, people were like, I don't know, if we can trust your opinion, because but we know Star Wars really well. We've all been like entrenched in Star Wars our entire lives, and it's part tomorrow. Oh, dude, really? Where is it at?
In Norwich.
Oh, no way. What time?
I think 6.
Oh, I think I'm working. That's a bummer. But yeah. Sorry. But yeah, see, that's how much we love Star Wars. I want to go to Star Wars trivia. So yeah, we're like fans. So don't think like we're here just like, oh, we just want this in the shooter and that in the shooter. Like, we actually know what we're talking about when it comes to Star Wars. So, like I said, we've been fans for a long time and know a lot about the genre. So, yeah, I don't really understand. Like, I don't understand why there's such a loud voice. I don't know if it's. I'm struggling to tell whether it's just a loud minority of people.
Well, that's the world.
Making a lot of noise.
The dumb people are the loudest. If you're hearing something loud, the best option is to not go that way.
Oh man, so yeah, I don't know if that's what the case is. I don't know if it's just people who are just
God, that guy just
they're just louder at this point in time. But like most people are like, oh, we don't really care. Let us know what you think in the comments. Why if you don't era hero play, because I understand from
we are losing you bad. Can you hear him, Jared?
It's breaking it out.
Yeah, I can't hear him.
Oh, am I lagging?
Oh, there you are. I can hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
You're lagging a little bit.
I was lagging a little bit. Sorry, guys. If you don't want cross-era hero play, let us know why. And from what I understand, it's just hero play that's going to be cross-era. So, like, you won't see First Order troopers running next to stormtroopers.
Right.
So it's just going to be heroes that are cross-era. So, and honestly, this is only alpha and beta and stuff that we've seen so far. So like, we don't, in Starfighter Assault mode, it might be like, oh, you can pull ships from here and there. And my only argument about the cross-era ship, hero play with ships is that, or just cross-era play with ships in general, not even just hero play, is that if you know Star Wars even like at all, the only people who keep the same sort of ships all the time are like the Empire, because they're uniform.
All
like
ships
the Empire
are like
is
pulled from militias.
Exactly, like this, the only people who are gonna have like only TIE fighters, it's like the Rebel battalion is made up of tons and tons of different kinds of ships, and they even take ships from once they beat the Empire, they actually take Star Destroyers and put Rebel symbols on them, and now they're like repurposed Star Destroyers. They even take TIEs, exactly. So it's like it's not like they throw stuff out and it's like, oh, we only like use this ship if you're from here. Like, it's not like a Mon Calamari person can't acquire a Mandalorian ship and it's like, no, you can't use it, you're not Mandalorian. Like that's not how it works. So you're kind of going against your own idea of, if you're one of those people who's saying, oh, it's not canon, you're actually kind of wrong.
Right, that's exactly what canon is.
Yeah, because that's exactly the canon. It's that all these ships exist in the same universe, and they like. I was just reading in the Aftermath series because I was rereading the books. I was just reading again where they had acquired some ship, and they were all surprised because it was a Clone War era ship, and it was still in use. But like that's exactly what I mean. Like it's all the way in like the new era, like where we're getting into the Force Awakens, and there's still Clone War era ships hanging around.
The Falcon's you know what I mean? Like so it's 60 years old.
Exactly. Exactly. That right there debunks your whole thing. The Falcon. Like that ship right there. Like it's lasted throughout like all these generations of Star Wars. Like so. ships don't just like get broken up once the movie's over.
Right, they don't disappear.
So yeah, as far as those people who say it's not canon,
We lost you again.
sorry if I'm breaking up. As far as seeing you know, heroes in cross-era play, I know it's not canon, but like Adam said, like I don't know, Jared, what do you think about it?
Well, I think like exactly like Adam said, if you don't want it, like just don't play it then, because
It's not that hard.
I enjoyed like the scenarios where it wasn't necessarily a hero that you'd be normally like seeing, and like say like Darth Maul versus I don't know, like
Anybody?
even just Yoda.
He only fights like
yeah,
two
like
people.
anyone. Like, yeah, it's like it didn't happen in the movies, but I want it to happen, so I'm gonna do it. Like,
right. If I had
I don't know,
action
it's like
figures,
if
this is what I'd be doing.
Yeah. So if you don't want it, just don't play it then. Like it should be that easy.
Yeah. I
So
don't
what
like
do you say
franchise
to the
mode in
guy-
Madden, so it shouldn't be in it. No, everybody likes it. Just don't play it. It's pretty self-explanatory.
I mean, what do you say to the guy who's like, well, you know, I spent $60. You know, I'm on the forums. I'm investing my time, and I just like, I feel like you know, I don't know. I just feel like this is gonna ruin the game for me.
So did I.
So I'm
like,
And
I
play-
spent
play single player.
$120. Like, what do you want me to say to you? I spent more money, or just as much at least, and this is what I did pay for.
Yeah, no, you're right. So yeah, guys, if you know, if you're thinking cross-era play isn't going to be great, because really all I'm hearing is on the forums is no, I don't want it, and then it's like, well, because it's going to be bad.
No,
then,
I haven't met a
well,
single
'cause
person in real
it's
life
not
that
great.
said that, or who
Yeah.
can hold a conversation. Like you said, the loudest people are going to be the most vitriolic and obviously the most argumentative, just in general on the internet
Yeah.
ever. So that's
you
just the
think
world we live in.
so you think the idea of getting a campaign together to get EA to try
Well,
to
it's
change
asinine. EA is
cross-era
never
hero
going to do it
play is
regardless.
just idiotic.
Like,
yeah.
it doesn't matter what they do. EA is not going to do it. EA has the game signed and sealed. Like, it's ready to go. They just need to get some beta feedback. So I don't understand why they think you can just change how the game is this far into development. The game's been in development for 2+ years.
I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll put like a setting where you could just play in lobbies where
you're
you and your
surrounded by
friends that
other
wanna keep
idiots.
it pure. Yeah, where you and your purest friends can like, you know, only play you know, heroes that make sense, but
Yeah.
it's kinda
Yeah,
silly
I
to
mean,
think
as
that
far
they're
as
gonna change it.
cross-era hero play goes, I just think to myself, like, when we're playing, like, Battlefront, like, even this game, like, obviously it's not cross-era because it's all set, you know, in one time. Like, they only did, like, the original trilogy and then, you know, Rogue One,
Right.
which was set within that time frame anyway. So, like, all these heroes, like, or whatever, but, like, we're also getting instances, like, Palpatine, Vader,
Shoot, I already died.
Dengar, and
I think I cleared out the heroes.
never like were on the Death Star all at one time.
Right,
We
yeah,
play
that
in
never
this
made
game.
sense to me either.
You know
like,
what
if
I
it's a
mean?
game
So
with
it's
heroes,
like
it's not canon automatically, because they never fight each other.
exactly.
Like, it's got nothing to do with era.
So like based off that, it's like it's not making much sense. But okay.
Right.
But yeah. So the other thing was critiques. As far as Starfighter Assault and what we've seen of gameplay so far. If you have any critiques, you know, what are they so far?
That's all you, Jack, because I actually haven't gotten the chance to deep dive into that video.
I mean, for critiques, there wasn't really much. I mean, I liked everything I saw pretty much. It's just, I guess the objectives were kind of like something we've seen before. It wasn't really new. It was like, you know, defeat this wave, and then defeat this wave, destroy this generator. It's like the same stuff we've seen, but I mean, everything like in
But
the
it's
ships
pretty.
is like everything we asked for. So
Right.
I'm not mad about it. I don't care.
I did read a critique that, and I don't know because I haven't watched it all the way, but I read a critique that the objective is poorly labeled or something like that, where it was hard to tell what you were trying to do. But I can't confirm whether or not that's true.
Okay.
I think he's talking about the first wave because they were kind of like shooting these satellites and they weren't really marked, but maybe they'll fix that before.
Yeah.
And,
And also, we're
And I
not
guess
getting a
there was some
HUD. We've
confusion.
addressed that before. Because when we're watching these streams, we don't see the actual HUD that you're going to see when you're playing the game. You're seeing the streamable video. So I think that there's probably going to be some difference just in the overall interface and what it looks like in general.
Alright. So yeah, Erica R said that
Yeah, I can't see any
she
comments.
thinks. Yeah, she said, and sorry if my mic is still cutting out badly. Let me know if it is or if it's not. Sorry. I think I do need to get. Yeah, I think I do need to get a new mic soon. This one's been kind of acting up. And she said, I think you should be able to do both. Turn it on or turn it off.
Yeah, like the lobbies, like I was saying.
Yeah, in the lobbies.
Well, it's probably
going
to be game types anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, they're
There's
gonna,
only
they're
certain
gonna
game
like
types of
address
heroes.
it, but
Like, I get that you don't want to be good Anakin versus Darth Vader or something. That's the one argument that I can, like, see what they're saying.
Not? Like,
but I still disagree. Like, I want to.
Yeah.
If I had an Anakin action
exactly.
figure and a Darth Vader action figure, I'd be slamming them into each other. So...
No, yeah, definitely.
Or, like, Django versus Boba or whatever, although that probably wouldn't happen unless it was free-for-all mode. So, I don't know. I don't get it. It's like those people who play Madden and they're like, oh, well... franchise sucks. Alright, well, then only play online. I don't understand what you're telling me for. Like, your opinion doesn't matter to me just like mine doesn't matter to you.
That's true. I mean, and the only criticism I had for what I saw of what I watched on the, of the live streams and the different streams I was checking out, I tend to watch Star Wars HQ, just because...
They're up for an Emmy. You're breaking up again.
Yeah.
Can't hear you, Chaz.
Alright. As my thingy's all crazy today.
Ooh.
So my thingy's all crazy today. But yeah, from what I saw, the only thing I didn't really like was that the feed was like the info feed for what was happening around you was like in the middle of your screen.
Yeah, I noticed that,
that was
too.
irritating.
It was like, yeah, they need to put it like to the right or something, because as you're shooting, like I think you're probably talking about the same part I was, because there was part of this guy who was shooting like 2 different people, and it was like he couldn't even see what was going on.
Yeah, and I found that to be kind of like annoying, and like that was the first thing I noticed was like, why is all the info like right above your shit?
It's all
like
different colors too and stuff.
Yeah, so and then you still have your kill feed off to the right. So I was like, that's too much, man. Like it's too much. Like
too much info.
Put it all in the same feed. Just put it all in the same feed. Like put it all in the same one. I don't know why there's one in the middle and one not. And then you're just trying to digest like everything that's happening on like the battlefield, like around you. It was just a little much as far as that went. If you guys have watched it out there and you have any criticisms of it so far and what you've seen, let us know what you didn't really enjoy about it. Like I said, I liked what I saw for the most part. Obviously, I thought it was gorgeous. It looked really good.
Dude, the heroes looked amazing.
Everything. Yeah, the heroes looked great. Everything seemed to play like I thought it was going to.
Yeah, the cinematic trailer was crazy. With Maul and Yoda and all that. Oh my god, that gave me the...
Oh yeah, the cinematic trailer was phenomenal. So what do you guys think about... me and Adam talked about it a little bit, obviously not here, but I mean, what do you guys think about Yoda in a ship?
I mean, we've only seen it for like 30 seconds in the movies, but obviously, and we talked about it, but Force users have a natural flying ability. That's why Anakin can pod race, that's why Luke can fly and he's never left Tatooine. So I think that's mentioned ad nauseum. You know, it's got a lot to do with the actual way the Force works. So the fact that Yoda can fly makes total sense. He should be able to fly anything he wants to.
Yeah,
that's true.
It looked awesome, like, to see him on that, like, I think he was on, like, a turret or something, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what he looked like. It looked like he was on a turret.
So, I'm sure that made people mad, like the same people we were talking about earlier, but I was stoked.
Yeah. I was pretty excited for it. I mean, the one thing people were talking about based on that clip, me and Adam did talk about this also a little bit, but was that the idea of having, like, a second gun, like a second gunner. Yeah, like different vehicle positions within this new vehicle.
They confirmed that earlier today. One of the developers tweeted and said that that was confirmed during when they were playing.
Interesting. So that's much more like Battlefield than we're used to.
Yeah. So like the Y-wings and stuff all have rear gunner positions and stuff.
Cool. Yeah, we were talking about that at work. So
that's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be awesome to be able to play together, and like that's gonna be a much more awesome experience as far as like
like your partner could actually be be in your ship, which is awesome.
It's gonna be really difficult for me to not yell "punch it, Chewie" for like the first
Don't get cocky.
3 weeks that game is out. Like, it's gonna be really hard for me not to do that because it'll be such. It'll be,
never tell me the
odds. It's gonna be that's gonna be a lot of that, a lot of quotes. Yeah. But yeah, guys. I mean, so Starfighter Assault was what we saw a lot of. I mean, that's what everyone's really talking about right now, as well as cross-era hero play, as well as like I said.
You mentioned that forum the first time I've heard of it since we talked about it.
And it's literally the biggest topic on the forums right now that I've seen, as far as like general discussion topics on Star Wars Battlefront 2 forums. That's like the most talked about thing right now.
Yeah, the biggest complaint about this game is it was too shallow, so they're giving you more content, and you're gonna complain.
And you're gonna complain.
Too much content for me. Like
I just don't understand, man. Like, it just seems like seems like an odd thing to complain about. It really does. It seems like a really just odd and random
Especially when no one's touched the game yet. Like, if the game doesn't play like you want it to play, let it come out and then complain about it. Don't say, "Oh man, that's gonna suck so bad. I've never played it a second." That doesn't make any sense.
All I know is that for those of you who are out there who don't want cross-era play.
Let me know
I can't wait. I want to know why, and I can't wait to play with you and be Darth Maul and throw your behind against the wall, man. Like, force bounce you against some AT-AT or something, man. I can't wait for some crazy cross-era stuff.
It's gonna be cool.
I'm excited for it. I'm really excited to see these heroes go like up against each other that you normally wouldn't see. I think seeing these awesome fantasy matchups is the reason why video games even freaking exist in the first place. Because you would never see them in movies or books or comic books or any other realm. You're never going to see these heroes. Exactly, like you're playing a Star Wars, like you said, it's a sandbox game.
Right.
And you know what? We have a visceral game that we know is in development that is going to be a much more linear, story-driven experience that isn't going to have this. And once again, you jagweeds, there is a freaking story mode in this game. I don't understand why people keep forgetting this. I don't get why people because that's not being mentioned at all on the forums, the story mode. Like, not even a little bit. Like, have I seen oh yeah, but the story mode's gonna have
Well, they gotta find something to complain about. So, they're happy with the story mode, so they're gonna be sad
they got
about
their president, else. So now they gotta complain about something else that makes us happy.
Oh boy.
The multiplayer is gonna be put under a microscope now because multiplayer we were begging for. Right. So it was I don't know why you guys are complaining, but that's the only episode. So for those out there who I was on the forum earlier, like, talk about it. We want to hear about. We want to hear what you guys have to say about it.
That's what we're
not talking about it anymore. This is the last time we're talking about this. That's what we have to say about it, guys. If you wanted to know what we had to say, that's right. Mad salt. Mad salt. Mad salt, y'all. Yeah, that's all we have to say. Bath salt. We eating faces over here. No, we're not eating faces. Yeah. I don't think that I think that, if it's something that you're not happy with, I just think you're finding stuff to complain about.
I would like to hear your opinion, though, like, why?
I would.
Oh, yeah, totally. Your uninformed opinion without having played the game, I'm totally interested in giving you my attention. No, shut up. You haven't played a second of the game. Don't try to ruin my fun. I don't understand. Yeah. I'm not here telling you to play it. Just don't tell me not to.
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense to me.
I am here telling you to play it. Play it so you can at least try it. I don't know. Just
play
try
the game.
It first.
I'm just saying, if you don't like the mode, don't play that mode.
Yeah, just try it, and don't forget there's a story mode. So people who want something more linear, you have your experience. Like, it's gonna have something for everyone.
If it was a giant game of only crosshair heroes running against each other, then sure, complain that you don't have more content. If that was the only content. Right, but if that was the only content, then you could complain about limited content. But don't have that be one single slice of what the game offers you, and have that be the only thing you complain about without having ever touched it.
Yeah, I think we nailed this topic, though.
Yeah, it's killing me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Crosshair play. we're weird about it. Don't like it too much. You guys are probably you guys. If you don't like it, whatever. But yeah. So the Last Jedi. I'm not weird. You're weird. I'm not crazy. You're crazy. As far as the Last Jedi goes, like I said, guys, there's not much like on the Last Jedi that's happening right now. Like I know that we did get to see like some new vehicles, but I haven't gone on StarWars.com to check them out yet. I just saw a quick like article saying like, hey, new vehicles. Here's the problem that I'm having. I'm really trying to bring our focus more in towards Star Wars Battlefront 2 and just sparingly talk about The Last Jedi, because quite honestly, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, you know, I like talking about The Last Jedi, but I really don't want to overanalyze things and be one of those, like, because there's enough sites out there and there's enough people out there who are like digging in. Yeah, they're just digging into every little piece of Last Jedi stuff we can get, and they're kind of ruining the experience, in my eyes at least. And once again, let us know how you guys feel about this, but in my eyes, I feel like they're kind of ruining the experience a little bit. So I decided that I think we're going to try to, like, because Battlefront 2 has got tons of stuff coming out. We're going to get the beta soon. There's plenty to talk about.
Unless we get a trailer, there's not much more to talk about The Last Jedi. Yeah, as far as
Last Jedi goes, there really is not much.
I mean, Ryan Johnson did post on his Instagram a picture of him in the mixing room. It looked like he was mixing, sound for a scene, and it looked like a pretty big explosion. So a lot of the comments were Death Star 4 LOL and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's gonna be like you said. There's not much coming out for Last Jedi, whereas Battlefront's got something every day. So unless they come out with a new trailer, there's no point
I heard rumors that there was gonna be a trailer tomorrow. But
yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not. I don't know. I don't know what to believe anymore. Speaking on not knowing what to believe, before we get going, Obi-Wan film, go. What do you think?
We've talked about
it. I don't believe
Make a comic, make a TV show.
I don't think we. Yeah, we talked about it. Not on talking.
No, we talked about it on this. I think. Like,
have we?
Yeah, whatever he does in that time frame, we've seen or heard. Like, we don't need to see it again.
No, but he's asking if it's a movie or not.
Yeah, because do you think it's actually happening?
No. Well, yeah, I think they will. I don't think it's happening instead of Boba Fett, though.
Huh.
I don't
think it's happening.
They've announced that there's going to be more anthology movies after this group that we're in now. So it's not like
has Disney officially announced it yet?
Well, they've got money on the books. Haven't. That's the speculation. So what else are they paying for? Because Marvel's they've got titles and everything. So so it's not like they're paying for Marvel. If they have movies that that their accountants are paying for, what else could it be? That's the concept.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is that, like we talked about, if they're gonna show it, they'd be hard pressed to show anything new and keep it canon. Because all he does that whole time is sit on Tatooine. So unless he's fighting a Krayt dragon, in which case it would be a cool comic.
It could be like.
It doesn't have to be a movie.
It could be like pre.
Unless they add in a story, like where there's some
the Clone
forgotten. Unless they add in something in between, like when we see him again in the Clone Wars, or not in the Clone Wars, but Star Wars Rebel.
You're right.
In between when we see him in Star Wars Rebels and when he gets like dropped and Yoda's like chill here and hang out with the little guy.
Yeah.
If we see some story that happened in between those two events, like what significant, like how could it be significant enough to change the course of what Obi-Wan was going to do anyway? You know what I mean?
No, absolutely. I think that it wouldn't be interesting.
I'd watch the movie for sure.
It's just
everyone wants to see it. It's just what would it be about is the question.
Right.
Would it be like a secret mission Obi-Wan went on?
But that's not Obi-Wan. Like, you can't make it without changing Obi-Wan's character or changing canon. I mean, there's not really many ways to. I remember back in the day when I was a kid, there was a book series of super young Obi-Wan as like a 13-year-old Padawan.
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool, but you can't make that because they're already making young Han Solo. Right. So, I mean, like I said, unless it's on Tatooine, he's fighting like a Krayt dragon, in which case just make it a comic book or like a TV show. There's not much you can do that would pique my interest. I mean, I would watch it, especially if Ewan McGregor's in it, but without messing up canon, there's not much else you can do. Now, I also heard that they're talking young Jabba the Fett movie, or Jabba the Hutt movie, which I think is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Jabba the Fett.
Like a Jabba the Hutt anthology movie is so funny to me, but so dumb.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that at all. I don't want it.
I know, don't do it. Like, what are you doing,
I
Disney?
don't want it.
Don't even let
I do not want a Jabba the Hutt
If I was
anthology.
Disney
Like,
and someone came out with that rumor, I'd be like, no, it's not true. Don't sell our stocks. Like, why would you even consider that as a prank?
Oh god, it's just like, I don't know why. I mean, first off, the Hutts are the most disgusting beings in the entire galaxy of Star Wars. Like, they're the grossest looking things. Maybe besides...
They don't look that good on camera.
No, Quarrens are really ugly.
Quarrens are awesome. Don't talk trash.
I think they're kind of ugly looking. Their faces are gross. But, like, I don't know, yeah, if we're talking about the ugliest thing, I mean, literally, they're just poop. They're just, like, giant poops.
Slugs.
They just, like, look like huge turds, and they're, like, and they stink, and they're gross, and they're awful. I don't know why. Who would want to see a Hutt as a main character?
Yeah, if they made, like, a mob movie, and there was a Hutt in it, I could get behind that, maybe.
Like a mob Star Wars movie, like it's like centered around like
like Bounty Hunters on
Life
or
something?
something. That would be cool. But
that'd be pretty sick.
But I
that
don't
would be a better comic book. I wouldn't watch. I wouldn't want to see it as a movie. I wouldn't want to see it as a movie. I would read it as a comic book. I wouldn't even want to see that as a TV show, to be honest with you. Like I'd be maybe into like a short.
Like Bosk and Dengar running around in Nar Shaddaa messing people up with disruptor rifles. I'd watch that.
Yeah.
It'd be better than watching Jabba the Hutt slither around for 2 hours.
Anything would be better than watching Jabba the Hutt. Dude, the couple episodes where the Hutts... when it comes to Jabba the Hutt and the Hutts in general, like the couple episodes they were on in the Clone Wars, the animated series, they were really like they were gross. Like even watching those episodes, I'm like these guys are just nasty. Like they're annoying. They're gross.
They sound slimy.
They sound slimy. They're just slimy individuals. Like I don't know why anyone would think it. Like Disney needs to come out and straight be like that's not true. Like,
right, that's what I'm saying. And I've seen rumors about it, but like at the same time, I haven't seen anything saying it's not true. So I don't know. That scares me.
So do you think that there's a possibility that this rumor that there could be a Jabba the Hutt thing and this rumor that could be an Obi-Wan film is two miscommunications that will end in a Jango Fett film? I mean, Boba Fett film.
Well, I think Boba Fett's pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point. But I was under the impression, and apparently it's incorrect since you both seem to think otherwise, but I was under the impression that the Obi-Wan thing had been confirmed this week. But there's no way I have more information than you guys. So
I thought because I read something saying like, oh, it was confirmed by like Hollywood something or other, some magazine.
Lucasfilm never confirmed it, I guess.
And Lucasfilm, I don't think ever went and said, yeah, this is actually like a definite thing. But it is usually like typically in a week or so after like this typical magazine will leak stuff. It'll come out. So people are expecting it to come out. But if you look at any source at all, like everyone's like, oh, it's confirmed, it's confirmed, it's confirmed.
Right.
But then they're like, oh, but not
totally
by
true.
Disney. And it's like, well, let's like not jump on it too quick, because if it's not 100% confirmed yet, let's ease back. But
chill out a little bit,
let us know in the comments.
Just give us you or don't make it at all. That's all I have to say about it.
I think they'd be. I mean, he
said he would.
I don't know. The only reason why I think that it could be true is because it seems like Disney's doing this thing where they're kind of like doubling down on some of their actors. So like Ewan McGregor was the teapot in
Right, yeah. They have contracts with actors for multiple franchises.
Yeah, exactly. In Beauty and the Beast, he was like the teapot. So he's like kind of like coming back in a little way, and he's with Disney doing like a movie already, so it would make sense for them to be like, hey. Or was it the Candlestick? I'm sorry, not the teapot. I'm sorry, guys.
That would be some really good acting.
That's yeah, that's incredible
Lumiere.
acting.
Yeah, come on, man.
Yeah, he was Lumiere. I'm sorry.
Dude.
I only saw it like
so mad at you.
I only saw it like one time. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I should have watched it more, but I was I'm much more into the animated one, so it was hard for me to like make myself see
Emma
it.
Watson,
like
man.
the original.
I'm an originalist.
Yeah, Emma Watson. Come on, that's the selling point in itself.
Yeah, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, it was okay. I thought it was alright. Yeah, so I don't know, guys. Let us know what you think about an Obi-Wan film if you want to see one, or if you're like, nah, I'm good. I'd rather see another standalone movie. There was also talks about a Yoda standalone movie. People are saying they'd like to see that. I don't know if I want to see a young Yoda. I just like
What's
him
he gonna
as
do
like
that's
seeing
cooler than what he does in Clone Wars? I mean,
yeah, I know. I mean, he's so cool because he's so mysterious. Like, I don't really want to.
You can't do it. But that's how I feel about Obi-Wan too, though. Like, Obi-Wan has done some cool stuff in the show and in the movies, but so much of Obi-Wan is his quiet mystique and his ability to kick ass without, without
being a gentleman.
Sweating. Right, exactly. So
yeah, always remaining civilized.
It's basically like a James Bond movie without the misogyny.
like you said, I'd like to see. Yeah, right. That'd be an interesting movie. I'd like to see maybe the story as a love story. You know what I mean? Like maybe something like that.
But that ruins Obi-Wan as a character.
That's not really him.
Like that's not
him.
That isn't him. You're right.
It's not the Jedi way.
There's no way Obi-Wan would do that.
Oh dear. Where's Stewie when you need him? Yeah, so I don't know. Let us know what you guys think. What standalone movie do you want to see? What was your favorite ship or just moment from Gamescom and Starfighter Assault? What was your just favorite moment from Gamescom in general? If you want to just talk to us about video games in general, what was your favorite moment from Gamescom? There was some cool stuff that was shown. I don't really like.
I don't like Star Wars that much either.
I don't like games. There's too much cross-era play. Too much. But let us know what you think. We will be. Guys, please try to remind me because I'm blanking so hard right now. What day is the beta? I can't remember, and I'm just like having a massive brain fart. It's in October, isn't it?
October 4th, I want to say.
I want to say it's October 4th.
Yeah, I hope not.
Why do you hope not?
I will be across the nation.
You better bring your PlayStation.
You better bring your PlayStation. We'll figure out what day it is. We're terrible hosts right now. But
we're doing a 24-hour stream. That's the point.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing a 24-hour live stream. So that's the point, and we're gonna be giving away the or at least announcing who's gonna get Battlefront 2 during that live stream. So that's really when you wanna tune in. If you haven't subbed yet, now's the time to sub between now and then, because you're gonna get, you'll be able to enter the running. We're trying to get up to 100 subs by then. We're slowly making our way. We're almost halfway there.
Yeah,
so.
we're at like 50, right? Around 50.
You're not allowed
we're
to
at
argue with us about
45
Crosshair unless you subscribe. So you better.
Yeah, that's right. You can't leave a comment about Crosshair unless you sub. And then like we said in the comments, like honestly, we want to know what you think. We really do. It would be interesting to hear your opinion on that and anything Star Wars. Like, how are you feeling about the movies? How are you feeling about, The Last Jedi, the Han Solo movie, the fact that it might be an Obi-Wan movie? What do you think about that? If you're up on the books, what do you think about those? I think next week, because we've been talking about doing it, and there's I don't know if there's going to be much Star Wars Battlefront 2 news between then and now, besides what we got. We should get a Last Jedi. I really hope we do. Like, we really are overdue.
I'm so thirsty, man.
So
thirsty.
Yeah,
we really
I can't believe
should.
how long
We
it's
really
been.
should. It's been so long.
Honestly,
so if we don't have that to talk
unbelievable.
about, then I really kind of want to do. We're gonna do Star Wars Shakespeare in the Park for you guys. Yeah, it'll be very, very cultured. But
Speaking
yeah,
of getting tail. If you can read
If
Star
you guys
Wars
don't
and
know,
iambic pentameter, then there's
it's
no
gonna be
better
so
chick
awesome.
magnet. It's gonna be flooded.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be just our stream is just gonna be like. So are you guys
It's
like
not gonna be a
single? Like
stream,
what's
it's
going
gonna be
on?
a flood.
It's gonna be a flood. Oh my god, that's ridiculous. They're gonna change it from a stream to a flood. That's ridiculous. Yeah, there's these really awesome Star Wars books that are out. That it's the script of Star Wars, but written in the as if they were written by William Shakespeare, and they're like really well done. Like Adam said, they're in iambic pentameter. They're like really well done. We're gonna do a scene from that next week if we don't have that much to talk about.
Or we can just do an hour of hut noises if you'd like. Let us know in the comments below.
Yes. Oh,
We're gonna
that's
lose
so
subs after that week. We're gonna come back and there's fewer people.
What are you talking about, dude?
There's gonna be fewer people after that. People want to see Willie Shakespeare. So yeah, come by for that next week if you want to see us do terrible impressions of Star Wars characters. I do a pretty mean Han Solo and also a pretty good Palpatine, but
don't hurt yourself.
I do a pretty good Palpatine. So yeah, we'll see. We're gonna divvy up the parts. I really want to see Adam or Jared as R2D2, or I'm sorry, C3PO or Princess Leia. I think that'd be funny for me. Definitely Jared as C3PO. That would be amazing. That would be awesome. Yeah, so join us next week for that possibility to hear us do some Shakespeare and Star Wars, and it'll be a cool little treat. And if we do see a trailer in between now and then, drop some comments about it, guys. So ask us some questions, how we might feel about it. You know we're going to be watching it over and over again, and we're going to dissect it like crazy. Let us know what you're most excited for in the Star Wars universe. As always, you can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of the good stuff, all on the social medias. You can find us there. Like I said, we're very, very active, and we promise to be gentle.
Active. Sexually.
Oh, brother. Yeah, check us out there, and like I said, if you like any one of those, if you are a part of any one of those communities, you will be entered in to win Star Wars Battlefront 2 on someday in October when the beta comes out and we do our 24-hour live stream. So we will see you guys next week. Always check in throughout the week because we drop off some videos. Jared is pretty active on Instagram and dropping some really cool clips on there. So very active. So check us out on Instagram to see some really funny posts and some funny moments, and share your funny moments with us, please. We'd love to see them. If you have any funny Star Wars moments that are awesome or just some really cool crap you want us to see, share them with us because we'd love to see them. But yeah, we will check you next week on Talking Sith. As always, I am your gracious host, Chaz, joined by Adam. Who has apparently no closing remark.
Later.
And also joined by Jared.
See ya.
And we will check you guys next week.
We gotta work on that. That's
we have to get a better.
Smell you later.